The ceremonial weigh-ins for one of the year's most anticipated boxing matches.
Mike Tyson, the baddest man on the planet, and Jake Paul, the YouTuber turned boxing
Brownsville, Mike, can I ask? The world is excited to see you one last time, perhaps. Can you just tell us the emotions, the thoughts that are going through your mind right now?
Sensation/professional enemy are two of the most talked about figures in combat sports. Now, let us quickly explore Jake Paul. You have to admit that the guy knows how to stir things up, whether you like him or not. His whole career has been built on loud, forceful, and unabashed confidence. But standing opposite him is Mike Tyson, a man whose name alone makes even the most fearless warriors nervous. Tyson's presence is like a cyclone forming on demand. He says very little. His history speaks for itself. He is the youngest heavyweight champion in boxing history and a knockout artist with a look that may make you reassess your life choices. So, displaying these two egos on the same stage, fireworks were about to go off. The weigh-in started just how you would expect. Jake is doing his usual thing, swaggering about, spewing trash, and firing up his following. He's firing verbal punches left and right, clearly trying to get under Tyson's skin. To be honest, Jake has some skill at playing the evil. But here is the thing, Mike Tyson? He has been around the block. This man has faced some of the toughest trash talkers in boxing history. And Jake's antics? They're child's play for him. But then, oh my, events take a turn. Jake, in typical Jake Paul fashion, tries to go a little too close for comfort. Maybe he's trying to make a statement. Perhaps he's just pushing his luck, who knows? But he walks up to Tyson, smirking, mouthing off. And then, bam, Tyson unexpectedly hits him. And I'm not referring about a light-hearted tap. This is a full throttle, no holds barred slap that echoes throughout the room. What about the crowd? Completely loses it. People are shrieking, cameras are zooming in. And what about social media? Oh, you know it's going to blow up. Within seconds, clips of the slap were shared on every possible media. The phrase Mike Tyson just slapped Jake Paul is now trending internationally. Memes are being generated in real time. It's mayhem, and honestly, it's kind of fantastic. Let's break this down a bit. Why did Tyson do this? Was it a deliberate attempt to communicate a message? Was it a reflex because Jake crossed a line? Or was it just Tyson at his most unpredictable, ruthless, and shameless? Perhaps it is a combination of all three. But here's the thing, Mike Tyson is more than just a boxer. He's a force of nature. He responds instinctively, and when he feels abused, he doesn't hold back. Jake, to his credit, attempts to keep things cool. He scrapes his face, grins, and says something like, "Did you see that? Mike Tyson just hit me." You can see he's trying to play it off. But let's be honest, getting slapped by Mike Tyson? That is not something you can easily dismiss. Even Jake, who is normally confident, is scared. But here is where it becomes even more interesting. Tyson does not storm off or exacerbate the situation after the hit. Instead, he stays calm as usual, almost as if defying Jake to take action. And Jake? Well, he knows better. Say what you want about Jake Paul, but he is not a fool. He's created a reputation for being contentious, not suicidal. Picking a fight with Mike Tyson, especially in the heat of the moment? Yes, it is a hard no. Of course, the internet explodes with speculation. Was this genuine, or was it all a publicity stunt? After all, Tyson and Jake are no strangers to playing the media like a fiddle. Jake, in particular, thrives on conflict. A slap like this? It's the kind of material that guarantees headlines, views, and, let's face it, ticket sales. But when you watch the video, there's something about Tyson's reaction, the way he moves, the fire in his eyes, that seems extremely real. And don't overlook the ripple impact this slap will have on their next struggle. Fans are already thrilled about what this means for the fight in the ring. Did Tyson actually get inside Jake's head? Is Jake going to use this as motivation to prove himself? Is this slap only the start of a rivalry that will explode in spectacular fashion? This moment will undoubtedly go down in history. It's not every day that you see a living legend like Mike Tyson put a social media sensation like Jake Paul in his place. And honestly, it's kind of poetic. In a day when so much of the fight game feels scripted and rehearsed, this slap was real, unfiltered, and undeniably authentic. Okay, let's go further into the aftermath. Because this slap was more than just a quick moment, it was the spark that ignited a firestorm. Following the catastrophe, both camps went into overdrive. Tyson's camp, which is known for keeping him on a tight leash when it comes to public outbursts, issued a cryptic comment. Mike is a passionate competitor, and emotions sometimes run high during these events. You know, the typical PR spin. But let's be honest, Tyson doesn't really need someone to defend him. His actions, no matter how controversial they may be, always look to be justified. Jake's camp, on the other hand, took a different approach. Within hours, Jake was on social media, doing what he does best, turning a loss into a marketing opportunity.
He uploaded a slow-motion video of the slap, captioned the moment the legend couldn't handle my energy and Mike Tyson just made me the biggest star in boxing.
Isn't this typical Jake Paul?
He is the kind of person who might get hit by a car and then sell t-shirts with the slogan "I survived." But here's the kicker, Jake did not stop there.
Oh no, he went all Jake Paul.
He produced a new line of goods, including t-shirts and sweatshirts featuring a caricature showing Tyson smacking him with the slogan "Slap of the Century."
And, guess what? They sold out within hours. Say anything you want about the guy, but when it comes to benefiting on chaos, he's a master. Now let's talk about the fans. As expected, reactions were varied. Hardcore Tyson fans saw the slap as a much-needed reality check for Jake,
reminding him that no amount of YouTube fame or pay-per-view purchases can replace the legacy of a great boxing hero.
Meanwhile, Jake's ardent supporters, who are nothing if not vocal, interpreted the meeting as proof that Jake is living rent-free in Tyson's mind.
They believed that if a slap was all it took to terrify the former champion,
Jake had a legitimate chance in the ring. A bold claim, to be sure, but reason isn't the driving force among Jake Paul devotees.
But here's where it gets really interesting, the ripple effect one slap has had on the boxing community. Promoters are already licking their chops after spotting dollar signals everywhere. This event has single-handedly elevated what might have been a niche conflict to a mainstream spectacle.
Pay-per-view estimates are skyrocketing, and betting lines are wildly fluctuating. Suddenly, this is more than just a fight. It's an event, a cultural moment, the kind of thing that even non-boxing fans are talking about.
And there is the Jake Paul effect in action.
Boxing purists, unsurprisingly, are rolling their eyes. To them,
the whole affair is just another example of the sport losing its essence. They feel that situations like these overshadow actual athletes, who work hard in the gym without the advantage of social media fame.
And honestly, they have a point. However, you cannot deny that this sort of drama brings boxing back to the forefront. It's a two-edged sword, as unpleasant as it is intriguing. Let's not forget about the psychological component here. Slapping someone, particularly in public, is a very personal gesture. It's not only about physical strength, it's about humiliation. Tyson didn't just strike Jake, he sent a message.
And whether Jake likes to admit it or not,
that kind of stuff sticks with you. The question now is, how will Jake respond? Does he come back stronger, using this as motivation to prove himself?
Or does this slap plant a seed of doubt,
which grows into a full-fledged mental barrier when he enters the ring? Tyson, however, seemed worried. In post-smack interviews, he smiled and said, "Sometimes you gotta remind people who they're dealing with." Classic Tyson, short, cryptic, and scary. He isn't interested in the spectacle of this war. For him,
it's all about going in the ring and reminding everyone why he's a legend.